when you're launching fucking wars in the Middle East, you don't go, yeah, Social Security is already like fucking half the budget. Let's just, hey, fuck it. Like, no. And these are real grown up decisions that they can't even come and talk to us because they think we're idiots. They can't even come and have an honest conversation with us as citizens because
well, we as citizens also don't force them to have the honest conversation. So few people are involved that there really is no practical application forced by the population upon its elected representatives. Right? We get 100% out we need in America.
Well, and that all made sense when, the logic all made sense when all the corporations were here, representing here. Once we shipped them all, exported all those corporations and those jobs out of here, then it makes you question, what are they representing? So if we can bring them all back, or the majority of them back, we can continue with that logic, and it should work as long as all our corporations and the interest is here.
So the issue with that is the reason
it's not just the interest of the average citizen.
Well, he was talking about lobbying and like...
Yeah, but it's the interest in the average citizen together that make an accountable government. Interest is never not going to exist, right? You will have interest in the American class always, right?
Okay, lack of foreign interest?
That and the population being a group and forcing the representatives who we ask on a small level, your school board, means practical application of political power, which most Americans, unfortunately, are just not interested in.
In order to be global.
Wait a minute, you mean participation?
Most people do not participate.
Yeah, that's
the vast majority. I love my congressman, but I hate Congress kind of problem.
I think Joe B said she wanted to participate.
So
I was saying in general.
Oh.
But thank you.
Just because this is a common thing, it's like, and I get it, but it's like. So the offshoring of jobs is controversial, but it's actually economically necessary because you basically have to make a choice. If you want a strong dollar, so you want a currency that dominates across the globe, which means it becomes a reserve status, people trust it, they trade in it, they take your bonds, which funds your debts, right? You want a strong dollar. Okay, that means the cost of your labor is through the fucking roof and you can't be globally competitive when it comes to manufacturing. So now you have to offshore it to countries with cheap-ass currency so you can get the same labor for less, which is fine because now you just have a more educated populace. It's like pushing the menial jobs kind of out of the country and raising the per capita rate of white-collar jobs in your country. It's fine because you get paid more anyway. It just requires people to actually like kind of make that transition. And the problem is it happened too quick and a lot of people didn't want to make the transition, so they're like, bring those old jobs back. But it's like, bro, if I gave you that job, you'd be getting like 30 to 50 an hour, and I'm paying this guy fucking $5 an hour. What do you think's gonna win? And they gotta compete globally, right? So it's like, and then on top of it, it's like, again, it's the strong dollar thing. So then if you want a weak dollar, then you can onshore. But now you got a weak dollar, you're not global reserve currency status, and you're a lot more sensitive to like trade deficits and imbalances in markets and shit. It's a complicated thing. And our strategy has been having a strong dollar. That's why we did the petrodollar. So we need a strong dollar. So we can't really afford to keep like we look at iPhones. Apple dominated. As hard as other countries are trying, they can't really fuck with Apple. That's actually a big testament to our power. TSMC, the world's most advanced supercomputer chip manufacturer, is getting their blueprints from Apple. Like Apple's the reason they are who they are. They're their single anchor client. Apple is made TSMC, right? And it's like you couldn't have built TSMC with the cash flow Apple had access to domestically. You couldn't even they had to go to Taiwan. And so sometimes this is just how the market works out. And but we have the IP. Apple has the IP. The money grows our GDP. It is what this is where shit is. And now we as the average American kind of get fucked, but the truth is it's not that our government's fucking us, it's that the world isn't perfect and sometimes shit sucks. And we have this habit because if you don't really get into it, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna blame the politician. But the truth is, the reason why we realize they just do what they're gonna do anyway, and it's not because they're corrupt, which is like this populist rhetoric, it's because what they's best for us is not it's like a parent to a child. And we don't want to take the medicine. And it's like, yeah, shit has to suck because this is ultimately what's been. Like, what do we think? They're trying to fuck the country up and they just don't love it and they hate it and they want their own country. It doesn't even make sense. And someone's bribing them to fuck the country over it? Like, come on. That doesn't even. When you really look at it.
No, I think defenders, one of the things they thought was most important were interlocking bits of ambition, right? Like, they believed that man was always ambitious. And as a consequence, once man or woman is involved in politics, they will be ambitious. So the population doesn't like the showing of ambition, but the founders expected both ambitions not to cancel each other out, but to help self-regulate the system of power, right? Because everybody's interests wouldn't always align. And there would be competing forms of interest, and those competing interests would make for strange bedfellows in politics, which would end up being done, which we wouldn't have thought about.
Yeah, well said. I think like even the railroads are a perfect example. Like, unless you want to become communist, how do you solve the problem of like getting a railroad built in your country? But then people are gonna look at that and go, "Oh, that's corruption. It's insider." It's like, yeah, that's actually a part of the game. That is a part of the game. If you look at how cities become incorporated, it's literally all business. This whole country is founded by businessmen doing business. Like you're founding a city. I've been getting educated on it. And it's pure economics, and it's a dude doing it for money. What else is he doing it for? Because he loves people and he's such a nice guy. And so I don't know. But to what Marshall was saying, I think we just have to now turn of the century, become a very politically educated populace, because we can't get hosed, right? Because these guys will get greedy. Like, they're smart, they know what they're doing. I do trust them now more than I'm less, conspiracy minded about it. But I do think they're greedy, which makes sense. That's a part of business. If you let someone, they're going to fuck you in the deal. And so that's where we need to be at a place where we're having, like Marshall said, honest conversations with our politicians instead of all this rhetoric. And they even talk to us like we're dumb, and they say these dumb slogans. It's like, enough. Like, come on.
Like, yes, we can and shit, bro. Like, yes, you're retarded, right? Yes, we can. I don't know. Anyway,
So
I feel like
I have a question for you guys. Talking about the, like the title of the room. Let me get back to this. What's everybody's opinion on moving to something like from first past the post to something like a what is it called? It's called like ranked choice or something like that. Ranked choice voting.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about that?
I want it so
and for those who don't understand, no, it's like, so right now, let's just say, for example, we have, well, it's difficult because we usually just have a Republican and a Democrat in the end, and then whoever gets the majority, right, they win, right? But if we had, for example, three pretty good vying presidential candidates that were running, okay? And one of the, let's just use three. Like, we'll use Trump, we'll use, who can we use? We can use Trump, we can use Kamala, and then who's the third that we could use? Someone say some name, real quick, come on. Put a name out there. Let's go. Wake up.
Wait, you mean a candidate?
Yeah. Just real quick. It's just for a hypothetical.
Shapiro.
Spencer Cox.
Okay, so Shapiro. So let's say first past the post, Trump gets 40%, Kamala gets 30%, and then Shapiro gets 25%, right? And first past the post, majority rules. That's it. Trump gets it. Right? In a ranked choice, what it would be is the top two, right? The bottom, you would slowly whoever got the 25%, the people who voted for Shapiro, because he's out now, we would do a revote, and then those people would be able to then put their vote in, and then Shapiro would be out, and then it would just Trump and Kamala. You get it?
you want to be like Europe, you want to be like France and shit. I don't like No, why not keep our system?
It's pretty expensive, Bima.
Very
Think about
expensive.
it. It's
Why not
very
just keep
expensive.
our
What
system?
you
Yeah.
just proposed.
Process of
Ridiculous.
elimination doesn't work.
And Europe does that shit. Like France, a bunch of different countries, Germany, I don't like it. I don't want to be the France. I don't want to be like Europe.
It also delays the results. It's true,
Yeah.
but what that would also mean is I think that the ultimate goal is to have a country that's more confident and more happy with who they have as president. Right now, it's half the country is pissed and half the country's happy. But if we had
So
ranked
how is
choice,
that gonna fix it? How is that gonna fix it? Like
Well,
half and half is
more-
gonna be pissed.
no, that's the point, right? Because in what we have right now, we would have that 25%, so right, if that the example that I use, we would have Trump have 40, Kamala had, and the 25% had, Shapiro, okay. But if we that 25% is not going to have their voice. 25% of the country, that's crazy. They're going to be able to put it in for either Trump or Kamala, right? And so that's what I'm saying. Like, I think right now we have just small percentage, about half that select who the president is, and then we have half the country that's just pissed.
Yeah, but the people that choose not to participate are choosing not to participate for whatever their reason. Their absence from participation from the one thing they can do didn't involve activism, they're absent from that. And I think all that actually ends up mattering is not why they were absent, but that they are absent. Right? It's irrelevant of why. The system still degrades without them. There's no way for the system to hold itself together without that kind of self-critical participation. And we just don't have it. And we should be willing to, instead of blame ourselves in large part for why have the issue. The government reflects us. If we don't like what the government looks like, then let's participate. Let's get involved. Let's vote. And for those that don't vote, we can work to get them to vote. But not voting is a choice. And not voting should not come with accommodation. You choose not to participate, you get what you get.
I think and this is something I also had to black pill myself on. I'm like, oh, it's because life is too good. Like, Americans are like really spoiled. Like, life is very good here for all this. We're kind of for all this shit we talk about. Oh, our government sucks. Oh, it's like, shit's pretty good. Like, I don't know. Especially when you talk to people from Europe or from other parts of the world, like, their situation's much worse. Now, in some instances, maybe they get a cushy welfare setup, and it's like, yeah, because you're not responsible for the safety of the fucking world. Like, you're benefiting from America's success. So it's, anyway, yeah, I don't even expect it to change. It's like, America will mostly just probably have a culture war for the next 20 years, and the elected officials will tell us what we want to hear and change the culture, but like, whatever the strategy of the people pulling the strings want, it's just going to keep getting done. And I don't think that's necessarily for the worse. I mean, it could be a lot worse.
So, Marshall, I fundamentally disagree with you. Fundamentally, I think what you just, with respectfully, you know that because I love you, Marshall.
Yeah, of course.
I think that a lot of people don't vote, especially where it counts. Who knows who we would consider? Who knows what counts or what doesn't count? But specifically with presidential, right? You have the spoiler effect. You have the divergers law, the two-party system right now. People don't want to do the lesser of the two evils. Enough people are just like, fuck it. Like, I know that was my thing. I'm not.
When I was saying that, I wasn't specifically talking about presidential. I was meaning local too. Local participation is like 10% of the voting populace. My mayoral election is 5,500 people out of a voter base of like 80,000 people, right? the place where government can affect you the most, people are the least involved. So I think we do it backwards. I think until you build up a loyalty for political involvement in your community, asking people to participate on the national level is pretty much a waste.
I think that presidential though is where we get the most turnout, right? The locals and the specials are Jesus. The special is really bad. But again, people are just frustrated by the lack of option. That's what I've seen, right? As somebody who is so passionate about voting and about how we're supposed to live and living with freedom and being a part. I used to repeat those same talking points too. If you don't vote, you can't complain. But then it's just like, wait a second, no, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of choosing the lesser of the two evils. I do think that that's trash. We should have some other options, but our particular system, first past the post, it makes it impossible for a third party to ever even exist to run. Like you can't, it's going to always come down to the two-party system because of that, divergence.
No, it comes down to a four-letter word that people don't like.
What's
Two
that?
four-letter words that people don't like. Work and time.
And
You can change the law, but it's going to take both work and time if you want to do it right. And most people want right now. And that's just not possible with our system. Our system was not designed to work like that. It was not designed to bend to the whim of a population who's one thing on a Monday, a different thing on a Wednesday, a totally different thing on a Friday, and an insane thing that Sunday evening.
You forgot Thursdays. Come on, Marshall.
So I'm not sure how.
Thursdays, and my point is like populations at their core, per Madness of the Crowds by Jonathan Haidt, and On Democracy by Alexis de Tocqueville are fickle. They change their minds, and they change their minds frequently. And according to Polybius, the problem with people that change minds so quickly is that it ends up becoming a substitute for mob rule. You can't guide a country on 5 different sets of shit. We're seeing this right now with a president who frequently changes his mind. It does not work all that well sometimes.
So you
As a consequence of that, you need to have a system that does not do that, or if at least if it does, it filters it through some formal mechanism of thinking.
So Marshall, that was, if you read the parliamentary system was designed around that. I mean, the debates for creating the parliamentary system was, we can get rid of an executive who does those kinds of things. Just to be clear, though, with Trump, is he really changing his mind or is he changing his approach? Because if you look at the thought process on how he does things, he's not changing policies and views. He's changing approaches. Like now, instead of saying, okay, I can't do birthright citizenship, he's ending birthright tourism, right? He's doing different things that are still in line with what he's talked about from the beginning. But now he's saying, okay, I have to change the approach, which may seem a little different, but it's in the same line. But when you talk about like a significant party, like, for example, the Democratic Party now itching towards socialism, which is totally different than anything they've ever talked about before, and then every day they're saying something different because they don't know where they stand on. I think you're correct on that, is that we have to have more checks. And I think Bima hit a point, is that we're stuck with these two parties because the system is rigged with these two parties, and it doesn't really allow for a third party to come in, which is the benefit of the parliamentary system, by the way. The benefit of the parliamentary system is it forces other parties to come in. And so you have to build a coalition government with different thought processes in order to get your leader elected, or in order to pass legislation, in order to have a prime minister on your side. So it forces you to capitulate in certain ways.
I still think you have to build coalitions just within the same party.
Yeah,
right?
I understand.
The coalitions within the parties are not always dominant or ascendant.
No, but hold on. You're right in the sense that you're building a coalition with the right wing and the left wing and stuff like that. But again, it's still a party, right? It's still one fundraising apparatus. It's still a I can fuck you over type thing. Let me do that, right? Versus when you have a totally independent party, now you have independent bosses, independent leaders of that party that aren't affiliated with you. If we had that system. Again, I'm not saying that parliamentary is right, just saying that kind of system allows for it. And actually, the system was supposed to be this way. In the system it's designed now, but we were supposed to have several parties. But this kind of collusion between the two parties to ensure that an independent run doesn't happen and that these other parties don't occur.
Oh yeah, with the
It's really
inability to get on the ballot in some places and the inability to like qualify for a national debate. That's a big problem. I agree.
The thing that both parties agree on is that they don't want a third party. Amazing. They actually agree at a 95% clip that they don't want a third party at all. Amazing.
I mean, I said bring a third party in. Do the structural things that allow you to have one.
Yeah.
The other two parties sharper.
Ross Perot came close, and then he got destroyed, and then Ross Perot was our chance, but.
Well, that's sort of
Ross
the
Perot,
byproduct.
Rob H.W.
Well, Naveen, that's like Marshall said, that's
King
like the
team.
byproduct of having universal suffrage. So it's better to have, to create a big coalition that contains many groups that can overlap rather than, one narrow party, for example. That's going to amount to nothing.
That's fair. I mean, if you look at it, right, you got people say, oh, look at this now. Democrats have to capitulate because they're building a well, yeah, because these quote unquote parties are trying to function within the framework of the two parties, you're going to have this. You're going to have the MAGA. You're going to have the Fucker Carlson new MAGA. You're going to have the all these other groups that are coming up that are going to say, well, Freedom Caucus was there and this and that, right? But in the end, they all fine, and that's the problem because they all have the same SLF for fundraise for Senate Leadership Fund, whatever the House one is. They all have these same groups that they need money from. So in the end, they capitulate. I'll just remind everyone: AOC first election, I will not vote for Nancy Pelosi for Speaker. We are going to take her, and then she gets elected. And then immediately on her knees says, whatever you want, man, whatever you want. The leash is around her things. She's running around doing
That's
right?
politics, man. You gotta
right. No, I understand. But then the second time she also said, I'm gonna, we're not gonna admit, because she understood the problem that Pelosi did. And then what did she do? Ended up voting for her again. But if she had, why? Because she wouldn't get the fundraisers. She wouldn't get the support of the party. So the deal was support me and I give you that. But if you are an independent party and you're not there, now she's not your boss because she doesn't control your funding. She can control where you are in Congress, but she couldn't control your funding. That's what I'm saying. The independence is just not there. But anyway, Matt, thanks for hosting this room. How you doing?
Doing good.
By the way, AOC did a video on freezing her eggs. Did you see that?
Oh, I did see that. What's that all about now? What she do?
She wants to create future AOCs, so she's freezing the eggs for now, and then she's gonna, and if she loses, then she's thinking she could sell them future president.
That is so demonic and depraved.
Check it out. And then
I saw
she did some videos on TV today. She went with that. Who's that guy on ABC with the glasses that claims Trump calls him or whatever? She went on his show ABC This Week. Who's that guy? Anyway, so she went on his thing and was talking about how she was like touting up Al Sayed and all this shit, and it's like, what the hell? Like people don't understand that these guys, and he's a great speaker. I'm like, look at how well he speaks. I'm like, look, Osama spoke really well, right? And it was 8 years of hell because he spoke well. Like 8 years of hell, and he spoke well, and you all fell for it because he'd be like, let me tell you a story today about how you all suck, and as you guys suck, we together as Americans can work. And you're like, wow, what a speech! Wait, did he say I suck? Then they read the transcript, it's suddenly deleted.
I saw a recent video. He's doing like that Obama cadence and shit.
Yeah,
I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah. It's the monotone to like high. It would be like, today we will work together. I'm just waiting for him to say, I got a chance to beat Barack and Michael, Barack and Michelle. I'm just waiting for him to do that. And then
King now. Is it just me or is James Tellerico do this?
Of course, dude.
It's such a weird.
Well,
and Beto used to do that. All these guys, all these failures are future failures.
Well, Matt, let me tell you, right? So the mentality in the Democratic Party is. And look, this is it's a psychological ploy. The ploy is if I can entertain and engage people, I can say it's a psychological game, right? Because if I'm giving a great speech in the middle, I say you suck. You're not going to hear that I suck because the cadence is so high. You're resonating with what I'm saying. You feel good. It's just like music, right? You don't sometimes realize the person saying "fuck you" in the middle. You're like, what? Wait, did he really say that? And it's like, okay, I think there's what's that lady's name? Man, the blonde. Oh my god, I forgot her name. Anyway, my daughter listens to, and it says like, like motherfucker in the middle, and she's like, I was like, wait, did they just say that? And she goes, no, wait, did they say it? Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I'll listen to the clean version. And there's a clean version where they remove it, and I'm like, but they do it because, and so that is a psychological ploy, and you should notice that mostly Democrats do that. And since Joby's on stage, I'll just mention also a great orator named Mike Putz also does it as well.
He didn't do
So-
this. He didn't do this.
He did. Mike Putz.
But it's not just me. It's like the dialect, the mannerisms. It's like this weird tick they all have where it's like they have to imitate each other. It's kind of weird.
No, it's to engage the
there are
audience.
F-bombs and
I know,
right?
that's what I'm saying. They're imitating, what each other are doing in order to entertain. Like, there's no substance. It's just all for show, But I'm glad you noticed it too. Anybody else?
Yeah, that's how you give a speech. The only way to be a Democrat and engage people. I mean, people are in New York politics. People are saying, the problem with Kathy Hochul is that Kathy Hochul doesn't inspire and engage people. I'm like, wait a minute. Why aren't we talking about her policies? Why are we talking about how well she engages people? Oh, Bruce Blakeman, he's not a good speaker. I'm like, look, I can introduce you to 100 guys that are cunning linguists. Does that fucking matter? Like, what the hell? Like, you need to find someone, and those who get it. But if it's mind-boggling the way these people think that that's the way to get a speech, because they can't debate you on policy. They debate you on platitudes.
Yeah, but
It's army platitude.
I think you're like looking at the electorate as someone like in this. I don't think the electorate is like someone that's that has facts and obsesses on the stuff and reads and is informed. I think absolutely most people are not like that, and so it's absolutely the person that is the good speaker, the good communicator, the good-looking person, the person.
But Scott, hold on.
I don't know. Is he in the Matrix? I don't know.
Yeah, but Scott, you're kind of contradicting yourself because Donald Trump is not a great orator.
Yes, he is.
And yet,
yes, he is. Yes, in his own way.
Hold on.
In his own way, he is.
Well, right, I understand, but if you take Donald Trump's speeches,
orator. Come on.
Right, correct. If you look at his cadences, how he talks and stuff, right? People say he's one of the worst orators. You read everything, they say he's one of the worst orators. That's why Democrats said and even Republicans were like, man, I can't just listen to him talk. But the reason his rallies were so good is because he knew when to stop and hit certain points. But he wasn't a good orator. He was good at delivering statements and facts, and he knew the topics that people needed to hear and the things that people wanted. The other side says, okay, well, I don't
be very happy to do that.
Right. The other side doesn't want to debate or talk about what they're going to do, but they'll use platitudes to win.
I completely disagree.
Yeah,
it's not the rhetorical style of someone like Barack Obama. Sorry. Am I still in the Matrix?
You cut out a little bit there.
I was just going to say, I think Trump is a great he's a rhetorical genius. It's just not conventional. I think Trump's appeal is largely rhetorical. I think he's great at that. He's excellent. His rallies, he's utterly brilliant. Not when he's on the teleprompter. When he's unscripted at the rallies, he knows his people so well. I think
Scott, you're misunderstanding, right? We're talking about oration.
His Queen's accent is just too disgusting.
So I think you're missing something here, Scott. We're talking about oration. Sorry, Joe. Go on.
I was just gonna say he speaks to the regular Joe. He really doesn't. It doesn't have to be sophisticated.
That's what I'm trying to say.
The biggest problem in America is niggers. Niggers need to be.
So Scott, I think you're conflating connecting with people versus oration. Right?
Well, no,
Two different
what
things.
I'm saying is rhetorical style. Yeah, I think like there's. I had a friend who wrote a dissertation, preacher, about St. Augustine and Karl Barth on rhetoric, and I mean, Augustine knew it's so much of the person, right? Bart didn't like the personal thing. He thought the preacher didn't matter, just the message. That's insane.
But rhetoric and oration are different.
Yeah, but I would take the rhetorician over the order any day of the week. I mean, I would.
Correct, but most people won't, and that's what I'm trying to tell you.
And not rhetorically unsophisticated. And I think Trump is a rhetorical master. I think his oratory skill is unusual, but there's a skill there. The way he, I mean, he's a master. He's a crowd master. I think that's
all the
very
experts
different than
say.
somebody.
Look, Scott, all the experts say that he's not an orator. They'll say he's rhetorically great because he knows, which is what I said earlier, he knows what to say to charge up the crowd. He knows the things to say and do. He knows that, but he is not an orator. He's a guy that if you give him a speech, he'll knock it out of the park because he'll know when to modulate his voice up and down and do all this stuff. He doesn't do that, which is why he bombed at the recent, correspondence dinner thing and all that, because he was given a speech and he practiced it, but he didn't know how to orate it properly to engage the audience, because that is what that role is. It's not a rally.
Spoke to them like he was at one of his rallies.
Exactly.
Yeah,
See,
exactly.
that's
I
the
think
thing.
it wasn't his crowd. It wasn't his
Well,
crowd.
but that's what I'm saying.
That's why he wasn't
that a good order, that's what I'm saying. Oration versus rhetoric is very different, because oration, no matter the crowd, you can like Osama would give speeches that would rally everyone, and like Republicans would listen to him and be like, okay, that was a great speech, but I got some questions about what he said. It's always, that was a great speech, but I got questions about what he was saying, the content. And people would be like, they would just hear the first part, great speech, because they would hear Bill Clinton, same thing. Let me tell you about a summer when I met a lady. Like he would give and people are like, wow, I want to hear him talk. Like I'll pay to hear him talk. About what? I don't know, but I'll pay to hear him talk. Nobody does that with Trump. They want to hear what he's going to do. They want to hear that kind of, the action. We're going to build the wall. And we're going to do this thing.
I think people pack those rallies like Obama or Clinton never could pack a rally, and that's because he's an exceedingly effective communicator.
That's different than what I'm saying.
I mean, okay, if we were to parse out words really carefully and parse out between rhetoric and oration and communicator and this, sure.
Right.
What I'm saying is, I think Obama is a great communicator, so is Clinton. Trump is too, in a different way. I mean, his style is, and what he's great at is reaching people that the Democratic Party have alienated his communication style. The Democratic Party is becoming a party of snobbish elites, and this is how he's taken over people under $50,000 a year in income in the last election. When's the last time a Republican did that?
Right.
A lot of it is communication style. He's utterly brilliant. And it's sometimes mean-spirited and sometimes over the top, and all of that is part of the magic. I think he's incredible.
No, I think it's because that's what I'm saying. He placates his talk to. Oh, sorry.
I'll just say I agree with John too.
You're underwater.
Can't really hear you, bud.
Go ahead.
So I was just gonna say, Scott, I think there's nuance to this, but Trump is very good at knowing the crowd. Like if he's, for example, he's in Las Vegas, because Abby's here, I gotta say it. He's in Las Vegas and he's telling a story during the election about a waitress who comes to him and he talks about no tax on tips, right? Well, if you went into other parts of the country, sure, that would be great. It'll probably pick up on social media later, but it's not as big. But he knew the crowd he was in and he said that stuff. Whereas Obama would recycle the same speech when he went to many different places and maybe add one or two specific things. The difference, though, is the style and the oration. And what I was pointing at, Scott, is, and while you're right, and I think I'm right as well, I think it's important to understand there's a psychological play. When Trump hits you on the stuff he's saying, which is also psychological in play, he's hitting you on things that emotionally are important, on concepts. Like, look at what's happening with the border. They're sending these people over. They're taking our jobs. They're doing all this stuff. Great. When Obama does it, he's like, we are a country built on this way, and you're hearing the voice go up and down, and you're resonating with the tones, the tonal structure. And so musicians do that all the time, and they use that because that keeps you engaged. If it keeps you engaged, it means more. It's more nefarious than talking. Let's have a conversation. Because if someone has a conversation, they don't want to really you know, if they don't like it, they're gonna walk away. So you lose the audience. So you can't keep them engaged if you know your policy.
Yeah, I think
Respectfully, brother,
voters
you're doing a
are.
lot
I
of
think
yapping. None of this is real.
voters are
Plenty
emotional.
of sorry, Reagan was an actor. I don't even know what he. Trump was a public speaker, a celebrity. He definitely alters
What do you mean?
his
You're
tone
telling me
of
there's not
voice and
a
his
science to
cadence,
the way
and
presidents
he's actually
speak?
really good in it.
You're an
good
idiot.
orient.
You have no
he's
idea
a
what
little
you're
more.
talking.
He's a little more down to earth. He's not as like polished as the typical politician, but I don't think anyone gets the. I know there was a bit where there was like, oh, he uses like a third grade education when he speaks or vocabulary when he speaks, but it's like no, he just speaks in a very plain, you know, average Joe kind of like locker room like antic kind of way. He just sounds like a guy. He honestly just sounds like a guy, and but when he just if we go to Bush, if we go to McCain, if we go to Mitt Romney, I'm just like, wait, if we go to Ted Cruz, if we go to, I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, what you're saying is just not true. All politicians do what you're describing. And also, I think both sides have a really bad problem with emotional attachment to their party, and they don't even really know what their party stands for most of the time, to be honest. And it's just
Appreciate
like,
the big brain take. Wow.
it's just like a red versus blue thing. No, really, when you talk to the
Dark big
conservatives, they don't, the average person doesn't have a policy understanding. They just don't.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And also, I gave some big brain takes earlier. You weren't here for them. It's fine.
It was beautiful.
I can just tell.
We had the we had to double check it was really true. That's how 180 it was. It was a very interesting event actually. So you're good, Truth, yeah. It was weird.
Yeah, I'm kind of
I
mad.
actually think the voters are emotional creatures, and I
Correct.
think both Obama and Trump are effective at hitting people's emotions in different ways. And I think,
But Scott,
and I'll tell you what, I could watch a Trump
Well, hear me now there, Matt.
longer than I can watch
Yeah,
Obama.
I hear you, man.
I would watch, and I'm not a Republican. I would watch. I love watching Trump rallies. I don't love watching Obama speeches.
Correct.
I don't sit through this whole time.
correct. But I guess what I was trying to say to you is, and I was about to say, is that the effectiveness of Obama has gone down because people were more. Because look at Trump's. Anytime you get a chance, just look at some of the debates and some of the speeches from 2016 of Trump's opponents, right, including Rubio, where they all used platitudes, they all did this, and he goes, okay, just get off this, okay? You did this, you did that, and move on, right? Well, that was unheard of for a politician to talk that way, but that resonated with the people saying, oh, look, all his donors are here. Those are all his donors clapping. Yep, all his donors and stuff, right? It's like, okay, well, that's what you're thinking, right? You're sitting there going, yeah, who the hell is clapping for that? Oh, that's his donors, right? So he's kind of saying what you're thinking. So it's a different strategy and a different approach. And so I think now that politics has become that way, right? That's why Obama hasn't been effective in endorsing candidates since he left office.
Obama was a reverse fake actor, bro. And the people could just tell from a mile away after a while. Like, what I liked about Trump is that, say what you want, the guy seemed to be pretty authentic, and he could get through to the masses.
Yeah, and I don't know if that authenticity is flaw or not, right? I don't know, but he seems authentic. I don't know if Trump is, when he's bullshitting and when he's not. But even if he's bullshitting,
I know.
He projects authenticity.
He seems authentic.
It seems authentic. Yeah, I totally.
Yes. He's got a certain special way of coming across as authentic, even if he's not.
Yes, I
don't
do.
know.
I
That's about that
agree
man, what
more.
he does.
Am I living in a strange multi-world verse right now? What's going on? You guys are all like really praising Trump. What's going on?
Hey, by the way, Matt, I just want to let you know on ABC, Ocasio-Cortez, she hasn't ruled out a presidential or Senate campaign.
Here we go.
If she is a nominee, the Democrats.
I said this years ago, bro. They're going to try to, because of the identity politics, and they know that the Latino vote.
But remember,
they counter the black vote so many times. They're going to try to. AOC is going to be their girl.
You think Rubio AOC Mountain?
I think it's going to be.
I think it's going to be JD Vance and Rubio. Rubio as vice president. Because the Republicans aren't stupid either. They understand, and the Democrats understand that the Latino vote is going to be even stronger in the next election. Not this one coming up, but the next election is going to be even stronger. So they're going to be trying for Rubio. Rubio, in my opinion. And then it's going to be AOC and like someone like Gavin Newsom. You know what I mean? I don't know, but
yeah. AOC is
Vance
going to be
Evans.
crazy. AOC will be so. AOC will run for sure, or at least run a campaign so that she can get influence. That's how you get national recognition, which everyone already knows her. What's also interesting is she has an acronym as a name, which everyone knows. They don't know that her name is, believe it or not, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, right? So you're not going to see Ocasio-Cortez for president. You'll hear AOC for president.
If AOC gets the nomination, Democrats will lose 57 states.
Wow.
Guam, Mars. I just don't. The problem is, too, all the good Democratic candidates are Jewish. And that's with the anti-Semitism and the anti-Israel sentiments. I just don't think there's a lot of anti-Semitism on the left, and I don't think. But I think Rahm Emanuel is a guy that can win independence.
I think that
Shapiro is a guy that can win independence.
And Ben Shapiro, if he wasn't, I know this is going to sound
Josh
bad or whatever. Or Josh Shapiro, so Ben Shapiro. Josh Shapiro, if he had not, wasn't Jewish, he would wipe the floor with anybody. He's just really good. Real quick.
Isn't that shit funny, the anti-Semitism nowadays, though?
Wait.
Both sides, especially the Democratic Party.
Just want to be clear. I was told that the Republican Party was rooted in anti-Semitism. Donald Trump was the next coming of Adolf. Every single Republican in every single Republican was asked a question in both 2016 and 2020. Do you support the anti-Semitism of the president and all that? I don't see every Democrat having to ask questions about the anti-Semitism.
So to be fair, look, there's not widespread anti-Semitism on the left. There is widespread anti-Zionism, but like to act as if like the average person on the left is just like, I fucking hate Jews. Like, dude, that's not fucking happening. And also, don't let
you do, bro. Just admit it, bro. That's what it's about. You actually don't like Jews, and that's what. You're just afraid to admit it, and we all know it, bro. Like,
no,
that's the Jews. You don't like Jews.
Pepe literally was just screaming about the Jews, and he's not on the left.
I know Pepe, bro.
Just hear me out. Just hear me out, bro. So what I'm saying is, this is more like this, like modern kind of. Oh, AIPAC is fucking with everything, and Israel just wants us to get into war with Iran. Man, fuck Israel. They're genociding the Palestinians. It's just this new rhetoric wheel. They're not literally anti-Semites, bro. Like, they're just not.
Dude, I'm telling you.
And I wasn't even screaming about
I can't speak for the whole party, but I speak to a lot of people on the left and the right, and people don't like Jews, bro. Like, it's anti-Zionism, sure, but it's also they don't like Jews, and they're just afraid to admit it. A lot of these people are.
You see, I'm not against the Zionist. I don't have a problem with Zionism or the state of Israel, but it's like, okay, if we're going to play this little game where there's a lot of influence, we're going to pretend like, oh yeah, this is all, we're doing this war in Iran just for our own interests. It's like, no, cut the shit. We can even look at who's primarily pushing this. Netanyahu said it his fucking self. It was his fucking plan, his fucking idea. I mean, why? But then I watch people like fucking chicken toe around it, say, "Oh no, it's the U.S. that's doing it, bro. Strategic interest." There's some. Of course, we have some interest in Iran having less influence over the region, no longer paying for their what do you call it? Militias there in regional terrorist groups and not getting a nuke. But other than that, I mean, it's primarily was not done for us.
I just want y'all to know white people and Jews are all the same. Just let y'all know.
I mean, that's a whole nother comment. But so just real quick, so it's even like if we look at, so I was raised to think like, oh, America's just always bombing the Middle East and they did that horrible coup in Iran. It's like, look, if I'm being honest, this is going to sound so out of character for me, but it was a shithole country. And I really don't give a fuck. Like, if I can we be grown-ups? You find a fucking strategically advantageous place when you're in global wars with like Russia and shit, and you're surviving world wars, and you're stopping to be like, oh, well, let me respect the sovereignty of that. What the fuck? First of all, these are people who are descendants of colonizers and imperialists. I'm not shocked they didn't give a fuck.
Iran?
And to be honest, if I was in the driver's seat, I wouldn't have given a fuck either. I would have been like, yeah, coup that crazy bastard out of there. put the dude who fucks with us in charge. Like, what are we talking about? Duh. Like, of course that's what they did.
Iran's actually one of the more educated and I guess you could say least Islamic countries or populations in the whole fucking region.
Get down or lie down. When Rome shows up at your door, why do you talk back? Like it's no. You are too relevant. It sucks to be you. So I hate.
The thing is, though, Iran's stance would be entirely different if they knew that that the American public they had the same. They were expressing the same sentiment, would have the same fervor to go to war, like after September 11, 2001. The calculus would be entirely different from Iran. They would know that we would come in there, and they were absolutely fucked, and there's nothing they could do to stop it. But they know that this is not a popular war. No one has an appetite for it, and so America's not going to really do it. Go all in.
By the way, even that is largely due to like Eastern propaganda that's anti-Western, that's designed to make it look like all we do is fucked up wars.
No. If you were to look at the global war on terror, okay, that we spent 20 years. Hold on.
Made sense.
If you look at the global war on terror, okay, it did not make sense. In fact, the most common sentiment you get from the people who served in those wars is not that they regret doing it, but they thought that it was basically for nothing. It was a waste. It was a waste of lives. It was a waste of money. It was a waste of everything.
No, that's not That's even more.
Iraq.
So no, Iraq wasn't. No, so okay. So the issue was Saddam Hussein and Bin Laden. Like you can't forget. Like everyone.
Well, so what does Saddam Hussein have to do with Bin Laden?
So first under George Bush Sr. we got the Kuwait War, right? Where he's trying.
I know all of this. You don't have to give me that history. But what does Saddam have to do with Bin Laden?
Well, no, they don't have necessarily to do directly with each other. They're both different interests into why we went to Iraq and then Afghanistan. And Iran was supposed to be.
What did we get out of taking out Saddam?
Well, if we had stayed in the area, we would have eliminated Iran's monetary influence to the local. Now they are. Taliban is back, and Iran is funding the Taliban, and we know this. But
the Taliban's in Afghanistan, not Iraq.
They're in Iraq as well.
What?
Wait, is that okay? Hold on, let me triple check that. I know Iran is funding forces in both regions, period. But the main idea was Saddam Hussein had to take him down, right? That's the Iraq. And then Afghanistan. Right?
Do you realize that we made Iran more powerful? They had more money to all of a sudden funnel into
that's
the
true.
terrorists.
1,000% correct.
By taking out Saddam?
It's because we didn't finish the job. The original plan that Cheney and Bush drafted, Iran was next, but Obama signed a deal. That's why I'm saying, like, no, actually our strategy made sense. It was working. We were not supposed to pull out. Trump is correct. It was a shitty deal. It was a horrible
wait, so what were we going to do? Occupy that fucking region of the world forever?
Maybe another 10, 20 years. It hurts to hear.
How many trillions of dollars is that?
Less than we've lost since. If you ask me.
Well, if we're being honest, Iraq cost us about $3 trillion. Afghanistan cost us like $7 to $9 trillion. There is a very good reason to be wary of American expansionism. I propose this thesis. The only service listed in the Constitution is the Navy, because doing anything with a land army or ground units, the Navy to ferry them. Thus, the Navy should be the strongest service in America's arsenal. And we should then have an expeditionary force like we do now, but we should think in terms less of land and more in terms of sea. That's just the thesis. The rest of the thesis is this. The industrial base is shot. It makes us a brittle fleet. We're as technologically advanced as the Japanese were right before World War II started, but we don't have the defense industrial base to repair ship in anything more than about 4 years. That means an aircraft carrier goes down or a ballistic missile submarine goes down, then you're waiting 4, 5, 6 years for one to be developed. Versus the Chinese Navy, the Chinese can put out they can put out 10 ships a year, if not a little bit more, which is an astonishing pace for industrial.
But I'm just curious about though, is after
yeah, go ahead.
We took out Saddam. Okay, you can. I mean, first of all, I think most people they don't think the Arab Spring would have really happened without the downfall of Saddam, and of course. We can look how that ended up causing a shit ton of problems in Syria. It was a snowball effect, and then of course there was a drought that happened there, and you had all of you left a huge void where ISIS in Iraq and in Syria basically ended up taking power. They ended up, and of course they were trying to defeat Assad, and we can look at just ISIS was just absolutely horrible, but. What you had is a bunch of regions of the world that were basically lawless, way more fucking savage than they were before we ended up invading them. And what do we have today? We now have a really nice, basically terrorist in charge of Syria. Of course, that's in Israel's advantage because he will not allow one fucking Shia militia to go through his country. Because they'll be more brutal to them. To Hezbollah than Israel will. So, that kind of helps things with Israel, but he's still, how is that a viable long-term partner? I mean, the man's a fucking psycho. He's a literal fucking jihadist.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be, it was basically means to an end. And we were supposed to finish the job. It wasn't necessarily about, it was the goal. The funny part is the only reason we actually went, like when you look at the original plan.
Hold on a second. We estimated the short-term use would be worth the long-term cost of being on their side. That's at least to my mind, that's kind of the conclusion you have to come to, right? It's going to cause less damage if we ally with these shitheads we were just at war with than if we wipe them all out.
And the funny thing, actually, as fucked up as that war was, we had a lot of casualties that cost us money. What's the point of doing it when I think we all understand it actually needed to be done. Like maybe you can say it should have been done better, blah blah blah. Like something needed to be done.
What needed to be done in Iraq? I mean, realistically, I would say, and you can look at a lot of veterans are very outspoken about why they thought that was. Of course, there are people who had
you think we were supposed to let him
lose friends and shit like that. But Iraq, what did we tangentially get out of it?
But would you let him take Kuwait?
No, and we didn't. I'm not against the Kuwait. I'm not against the first Gulf War. I think us invading Iraq the way we did was absolutely fucking stupid and caused way more fucking problems than it cured. A whole lot more.
Look, I understand, but I think that war is ugly. I think that we're not a perfect nation and our military strong.
That has nothing to do. I'm not making an argument about whether or not war is good. It's what you do. You go to war for a reason.
We went for a reason.
What was the reason was bogus.
Hold on, that's actually what I was in the middle of saying. So when you look at the original nickname for the strategy, it was like Domino, and it was supposed to be.
The reason is to kill the enemy, Pepe.
Exactly, Normal. Thank you.
Yeah, but killing the enemy is not okay. If that was the case, we can go to war with China, but we know the outcome of going to war with China. Yeah, but if we go to war, everybody knows the outcome would be really bad. So we don't.
Hold on, two things. Pepe, two things, please. Two things. One, China actually has robust technology and they have a nuke. They couldn't take us, but they have a nuke. It's better served attacking the fact that they're oil starved and they have to import their oil. Iran was their chief importer, so that's indirect fire. But that's not even the topic.
But this is once again.
Hold on, but real fast, just to finish my point, which was that
this is a post hoc justification for this. This is not why we attacked Iran.
They had these plans drafted in 2002. They had a 15. You can look.
That is not why we did it this time, though.
The justification is to kill the bad guys.
$15 million computer simulation against the U.S. versus Iran in 2002. So you're literally wrong. This is not post hoc. The plan.
No, you're rationalizing why we did it this time. That is not why we did it.
Yes, it is. It's the
We
same
did it this time to kill the bad guy, Pepe.
It was the same reason in 2002. We were worried about Iran getting a nuke. What are you talking about? You don't even know what you're talking about. Just please let me finish. So
What are you I do know what I'm talking about. Why we did it this time?
The nickname for the method was Domino. The idea was literally Iraq, Afghanistan, then Iran. That was the whole fucking strategy. And they spent $15 million on a fucking computer simulation.
Makes sense,
the
dude. Syria fell, Libya fell. I mean, come on, man. Like, it makes a lot of sense. Pepe, quit sitting on your fucking hands, bro.
And you gotta understand, look, it's
Libya was a fucking disaster too. Like, that is another one.
Ugly, bro.
I agree.
It has nothing to do with war being ugly.
Yes,
Look at what happened after Libya fell.
No big mind, please. No big mind.
Do you know why? Do you know why? Do you know what Gaddafi's threat always was? That if Europe or America ever fucked with them, it was always that I will allow, if anything happens, I will allow a flood of fucking black sub-Saharan Africans into your fucking country. He was actually one of the people
he
that
didn't have the power to do that, Pepe.
Oh, he did. Because he did not let them through his country.
But he can't control our.
He was Okay, he's obviously in North Africa, right? And right after he fell, for example, that is when sub-Saharan Africans started going through Libya to the north, and that's of course when you saw on the news that they started taking them as slaves. But he did not allow them. He was harsh. No, when he went out of power, okay, you ended up getting a bunch of blacks coming through Africa and swamping Europe. Okay, that is a fucking problem. That's bad.
There are illegal immigrants coming from every.
No, but we specifically got a lot more black people.
I don't know why you have
coming
something
through
about black Africans. I mean, we have Syrians,
yes, that's
we have
adding more
Afghanis,
onto them.
we
Yeah,
have
because it was a problem.
Yeah, but they don't all go through Libya. They're not.
No, a whole bunch of them did,
folks,
unfortunately.
Black folks from Africa are not the biggest problem with refugees. If anything, it's Syrian people.
Okay,
who left
they
Syria,
are all a
Afghanistan.
problem. They're all. It doesn't matter though. They're all a problem.
It does matter.
But yeah, so the
Anyway,
point
when
is,
do
like,
all
the decisions that we made made sense.
We go to war to kill the bad guy.
Yeah, all the
Don't
decisions we
complicate
made sense. The
When are
reality
we
is
gonna
the
get
public.
Whitey?
The reality is the public just got really upset with it because war causes war fatigue. That's a reality.
That's not what it
likes to see
was.
people
It
die.
was way too expensive. It solved nothing. If it would have solved something, okay, what did it solve? Did it bring peace to the Middle East? No, it actually what it ended up bringing when we invaded
removed an
when we
enemy.
invaded when we invaded Iraq, what it
Removing
ended
the
up
enemy
causing.
was
All right, Norm, don't do this shit. You love to do this in every other room, but when
What
it comes
are you talking about, Pepe?
to interrupt people, it's really obnoxious. But when we went into Iraq,
Pepe,
what
you
ended up
rant,
happening?
and people let you rant
You
forever.
do that. I was quiet for about a good hour and a half. Now, what ended up happening is you immediately had.
You're doing it again, Norm.
You immediately had like a civil war. Okay, then you end up having ISIS come in. I mean, a good 15 years after Iraq was invaded, it was a violent fucking cesspool. There was far more death and destruction and terrorism that ended up coming as a result of us invading Iraq, as opposed to Saddam, who, by the way, he was not a safe harbor for terrorists. He would actually kill them, and part of the reason why is he wasn't a religious man, but he would never allow a Muslim cleric to have any kind of mass influence
You're
over his
inaccurate,
people.
Pepe. We
So
actually now have
I'm
democracy
accurate.
in
Hold
Iraq.
on, just respectfully, brother, I just disagree with your perspective. And I get it, but I look at it like, so Saddam has destroyed. The Ba'ath dictatorship ended. If we had stayed in the region, that would have been a sustained win. We withdrew and we lost that win. That's why people forget about that win.
But we
That's a powerful
stayed
win.
in, and we had a civil war, and then you had ISIS.
There
You
was no
expect that
civil war
sometimes.
in
That's
Iraq.
okay.
Pepe.
Yes, there
Civil
was.
war.
No, there
It's
was
not
no
the first
civil
time
war.
There was a
we've been
Shia
in
versus
that.
Sunni
There's
civil
There
war.
was no
That's the
civil.
shit that
Two sides,
happens.
Pepe.
When you
It was
were the
it's a
big guy
Shia
on
majority
campus.
country, and they
Hold on,
they
just real
correct.
quick. When you
and the
fucking
Ba'ath and
big-
they
hold on, just
and you
real
had the
quick.
Ba'athists who had
Pepe,
traditionally
when
been
you
in
are the
power,
big dog on
and
We
they,
immediately
even though they were
proposed
more
the
like a
Ba'ath.
pan-Arab
Pepe,
nationalists,
Pepe,
they were
Pepe.
far more sympathetic to the Sunnis. And so, and after Saddam gets taken out, what are they going to do? They're going to fight for who gets to control the fucking country. It was just that simple.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's not. It's still part of doing business. You can't make an omelet without cracking eggs. We were in a. You can't. When you're looking at situations like this, sometimes there's just losses you take. That's what I'm saying.
But we got nothing out of Iran.
Hold on. So first, Iraq was a win. Iraq was a win. Now you can say maybe
a win, but that got us what?
Again, we got rid of Saddam. We got rid
So
of
what?
the dictatorship. We established elections. They actually survived. No, before we left, their elections were working. It's just we left too soon. That's another thing. And then you got Afghanistan.
Do you okay? First of all, this free and fair election bullshit is fucking retarded. These are Muslims. These people basically have to live under a fucking monarch or a fucking a ruler that doesn't allow them to really have a vote. These are Muslims.
They can figure out how to govern themselves.
On an order of concerns,
for example.
Just hold on.
The vast majority of them have strongman leaders. The only way they can fucking behave.
Yes, but you're associating strongman leaders with Islam. I'm saying that.
I'm saying in the Middle East. I'm saying in the Middle East, it's absolutely correct.
Let's talk about
strongman leaders are more the.
Let's talk about all
Let's
the
talk about the white people.
The only reason they took over was because they had weapons. So if we stayed there, the democracy was working.
These were insurgents.
Hold up, the white Christians.
No, these were insurgents. You had to. They were getting armed. They were literally getting armed by the IRGC in Iran. And getting trained, and then you actually had fighters coming from Iran to help the Shia in Iran. And then you had the huge insurgency that was coming across the fucking border from Syria. These are foreign people that both had an interest in fighting.
But let's talk about white people.
Can we?
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Can we please talk about white people?
I am sorry.
Come on, let's talk about white people, please.
Right now.
Hi, Joe.
Dang.
Yeah, so Iraq was a win. If we didn't lose, the elections would have kept functioning. Then Afghanistan. We fucking defeated the Taliban. This is shit people take for granted. Like, they don't even remember the shit we were doing.
We temporarily occupied them.
We definitely didn't defeat the Taliban. I don't know, man.
We literally removed Al-Qaeda. What are you saying?
Well, for a little bit.
Al-Qaeda.
We got rid of Bin Laden.
Sure, we got rid of Al-Qaeda rather quickly. Taliban, however, they were not going anywhere, and just like the Russians fucking tried before, who were a lot more brutal than we were, they ended up coming right back. And of course, if you look in a good chunk of where the fucking Taliban lives, they literally live in the Pashtun region of fucking across the border in Pakistan, and these motherfuckers just came right back across.
Bro, I don't care what happens to their. Listen, if we had those footholds and then continued into Iran, this would have been over by now.
Then for what? We were there for 20 fucking years. They immediately went back to, and then when we left, they immediately went right back to where they were.
Dealing with it.
23 in Afghanistan, like 26 in Iraq.
Do you not understand that the problem didn't go away?
But you want us to permanently occupy these fucking countries?
No one said permanently. That was never.
How else? What are you going to do? These people still have this exact same fucking belief system. We occupied them. We told them how they should live. We told them their girls should go to school. We told them that women should have some fucking rights, that you should allow homosexuals to fuck each other. But they never bought that shit. They never bought any of that shit. And as soon as we fucking left, they ended up imposing their fucking morality on their own people. That's exactly what was going to happen.
Didn't even let women drive. What are you saying?
So what? They don't care about that.
You're getting exaggerative. Please don't mute me. He's getting what are you? You're acting like we're trying to impose Western value. Like no.
We did.
He's getting exaggerative.
We literally had their girls go to school. What the fuck are you talking about? We had gay flags. We had pride flags on our fucking embassies. What are you talking about?
That wasn't because of us. That was because of him. He was a secularist.
Who?
That wasn't a Western influence. He decided to do that.
This was literally about Western influence. What are you talking about?
Stop yapping, bro. Just anyway.
This was what the fuck?
Jesus Christ, bro. Because you're just.
This is a difference between you have fundamentalist Muslims that live out in the fucking boot.
Truth, why don't you just sit this one out? Because you're way off.
because the main point, I kept getting interrupted. 10 seconds and I'm done. This is like, I just want to finish the point. The whole point of calling it the domino plan is because there's no point to even go to Iraq or Afghanistan if you don't finish and go to Iraq. If you weren't going to go to Iraq, then don't even go. The whole plan from inception was Iran finally, but that's when Obama came in and signed the deal. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. If we just followed through with the plan, it would have all been over by now.
No, it wouldn't. Yes. Afghanistan, despite what happens in Iran, Afghanistan would still be overrun by the Taliban. Everybody knows that. The Taliban has and by the way, Iran does not get along with the Taliban. As you know, most of the money the Taliban makes was from opium. Guess how they get that opium out of Afghanistan? They have to bring it across the fucking border into Iran. They'll kill the goddamn border guards in Iran, no fucking problem, and vice versa. They're not. Iran has almost no influence in Afghanistan. So, and if anything, it's Pakistan that has the most influence on the Taliban. And if you're to look at the Taliban, the secret police there, I believe it's their version of the Secret Service or their intelligence. It's well known. They're the ones who are actually supplying them with a lot of information and gave a lot of the Taliban their training.
I'm sorry, Pepe, but we were there for 20 years. There were children and girls there who grew up under the Western influence that the United States gave to Afghanistan. And if you remember, maybe you weren't here, when Biden pulled out, there were Afghan people
flying off the plane. I remember.
Huh?
I remember the airplane. But they're trying to fly off the Globemaster.
No, what, on Clubhouse?
No, on TV when they were trying to get on the airplane.
That was the exit out.
There were Afghan people on Clubhouse terrified because they didn't want the United States to leave. And here's my view on it. We have 35,000 troops in South Korea or I forget the number, but we've been there. How many years have we been in South Korea? We're never leaving South Korea. We only had 3,500 troops in Afghanistan. 3,500. That was it. It was a cost, relatively speaking. That was minimal cost.
Did you want to be there forever and never leave?
Are we there forever in South Korea?
Well,
again,
South
just
Korea is
another
not
10,
an active
20
war
years.
zone, though.
Yes. Did you want?
And was Afghanistan an active war
Yes,
zone?
there were still fights popping up. There were still explosions that were happening. Of course, Iran was using that as an opportunity. They were still sending their shitty fucking rockets to American bases.
But
Didn't answer my question. Do you
What's
want to
the-
be there forever in Afghanistan?
I'm fine with it, yes. With 3,500 troops. See, the problem is that everyone has these arguments and thinks that, we shouldn't have gotten involved. And they all have good reasons. But here's the one thing. If the United States doesn't get involved, and if the United States didn't go to other countries and promote their interest in those countries, do you think the other superpowers of the world would not go to those
Yes,
countries?
I actually think that because.
Well, then you're naive, Pepe.
I'm not
You're
naive.
wrong.
You want to know? I can tell
Yeah.
you why. If we look at the
Yeah.
we can look at the much more superior Soviet Union that spent the better chunk of the 80s trying to conquer Afghanistan. It ultimately fucking failed. I don't know who else was going to try to do it.
Failed.
But here's the thing: we went to Afghanistan for a good reason. Al Qaeda and Osama bin Laden. We should have gone there. We should have killed. We should have. But as far as this stupid nation building bullshit, no, we shunned that.
So
Yeah,
Al,
well, then I'm
No,
sorry.
we were doing that to build a coalition to go at Iran with. That's actually what our strategy was with Storm. It was a beautiful strategy. I hate that we lost the narrative
And
on
by
this.
the way, you're
Desert
talking about
Storm-
are you talking about like the Clean Break project? I mean, this was shit. There were plans that were written down on paper, but they weren't actually fucking implemented.
Alan, did you not like it? Did you like it or not like it when Trump tried to come out of Afghanistan first?
Did I like it or not like it? What?
So no, we're talking about Operation Desert. Sorry, I said Desert
Yes,
Storm.
I understand.
That's my bad. I don't know why I said Desert
But
Storm.
I think you're referring to the Clean Break
Iraqi
project.
freedom.
That was
No,
that
that's
was
my
foreign
fault. I said
policy
Desert-
experts and
No,
people in the
that's my
Bush
fault.
administration
That's
that
my fault.
were that were
I didn't mean Desert
they
Storm.
had this strategy they wanted to do, but that was never put into practice.
Yeah, I didn't mean to say Desert Storm. I meant to say Iraqi freedom. I don't know why.
Well, that's the one I'm referring to.
Oh, sorry. Say it again. I didn't hear.
So, okay, at the time, but it was actually written up in the, I believe, starting in the late 90s, but it was still being pushed. You had like Paul Wolfowitz, who are the other people's names? That had basically came up with the Clean Break strategy, where basically they ended up, they said we were going to go to these countries, we're going to take them. So they ended up talking about Gaddafi, Assad, of course, Hussein, and then it ended up involving Iran. Now, when we ended up invading Iraq, that was there were people in Trump's administration at the time that had that were the authors of the Clean Break strategy, but that was not the reason why we ended up going into Iraq. That was just a strategy that was put down in paper as an idea, but that idea was never implemented.
Brother, you did not go in Iran. Say other soldiers that went and signed up for the army went in there. You just sitting back on the sidelines talking.
You're amazing.
Y'all talking about everything, but ain't none of y'all doing nothing. And when y'all say we, y'all ain't over there fighting.
We're talking about the United States. When we say
yeah. We talking about the people that fight for it. Are you fighting?
So
I don't know. Are you fighting? You fucking ape?
No, hell no, I ain't fighting.
All right, then shut the fuck up.
And just like you need to shut the fuck up because you're not risking your life.
It's an audio app.
I'm actually making the case for why we should not put. I'm actually advocating for why we should not risk American lives unnecessarily. In other words, I'm not the one who's being a chicken hawk trying to say that we need to send our young into war. I'm actually saying the opposite.
So, so Pepe, sometimes, hold on, we literally got attacked on 9/11. Hold on, because we got attacked on 9/11.
No, my water comes from the Colorado River. I know in Arizona we know where our fucking water comes from. What are you talking about?
Bro, you're forgetting 9/11.
If that don't go over there and do what he do, you won't have nothing.
Can you do me a favor? Can you spell Illinois? Can you spell Illinois, brother? Can you spell Illinois?
American dollars, $34 trillion in the negative.
Okay. Let's see if you can do your multiplication tables.
Do you know math?
Yeah. What is 8 times 7?
American dollar trillion.
What is 8 times 7?
You is broke, brother.
8 times 7. What is 8 times 7?
You got monopoly, motherfucker.
See, you ignorant motherfucker never even did your multiplication tables. I mean, I can tell from hearing how you speak English.
Brother, you been scammed.
Okay, brother.
Gina, what is 9 times 6?
Yeah. What's $34 trillion in the negative?
That's right, he doesn't
You got
know.
a business, and you $34 trillion in the negative.
Y'all ain't shit for that. Come on, yo. Come on.
16, 24,
Brother,
40, 40, 50, 60, 70.
Yeah, what is this, class time?
So how much is your money worth?
But look,
34 trillion negative.
Man.
How many?
So how much is your money?
Okay, so Gino, how many millions are in a trillion?
So what we're not gonna do is deflect away from the point so that you can try to do this. No.
Actually, I'll make it easier. How many?
Wait, truth, what we're not gonna do.
You come on, we all see what you're doing. Come on, dog. It's racially charged. It's uncomfortable.
That you ain't going fighting for.
Oh, are you in charge?
Oh, so this is a race baiting place? Like you rocking with
This
that?
is
That's
not
the
race
energy?
bait. He came
That's what the
in.
President Trump
He
house
came
does
in.
You
best,
literally hit
brother.
him with the brother.
Oh, what about
Yeah, but no, he wanted to come
what
in
about
here
the
and he
ram
wanted
and
to. He
You
wanted
had
to do it.
10 to stole
No,
that.
so what ended up
You
happening
know how
is
much ram and
what ended up
marijuana-
happening is Gino came in here and he wanted to take a headshot. He took a headshot. He said, "What do you mean? What do you mean we?
Yeah,
You
I
ain't
said
going
you said
nowhere."
we.
Yeah. And so
You
and he
ain't
has
nowhere.
this obnoxious ghetto
When you
accent,
say we,
and he's
you
acting like
talking
he's smart
about
and he's
the
dropping
light.
some wisdom on us. So I'm basically this is
What
me
I'm
putting
saying,
him in
you
his
said
place.
we, brother. You
Yeah,
said
you're
we.
doing it
We
along
ain't over there
racial
Bro,
fighting,
what's a
brother. It's
ghetto
a man that's
accent?
going over there risking
You
his
should
life.
watch
It is
the
some people
TV.
fighting.
You're doing
Now,
it
if you
along
want to
I
hear
racially
just want to
charged
know what's a
lines.
ghetto
So you
Sunday,
accent.
shouldn't bring that up.
go over there and fight. Sign up for the war. Sign up for the war.
We don't
Huh?
go over there and
Any,
fight. The
so what y'all gonna
I
do?
just want to know ghetto accent.
Y'all gonna exercise your constitutional right.
Yeah,
You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say will be held against you in the court of law.
Yeah, Gino, the military's
Now,
job
if you
is to
agree,
enact policy that the
anything you say
people
will be held against you,
vote
brother,
on.
in the court of law.
Yeah. Are you even listening to me? The military's job is to
I know you're a liar.
take the
God
idea.
is a liar, including me. All information that you say is a lie because you can't prove none of it. Prove it. Prove it again.
I don't think Gino should have
No,
conversation.
I don't think you know. I was taught that a kid. Don't trust it. Don't take candy
Bro,
from
respectfully,
strangers.
you're not saying
You a
anything
stranger. I ain't taking no candy from none of y'all. I don't trust none of y'all. Y'all liars
God
just
bless you,
like me.
brother.
And
I don't
you
trust
gotta
them
prove
neither.
it.
I don't
Well,
trust
we
their
don't
ass.
trust
Right. You must prove things. So when anything that you say,
I
prove
don't
it.
trust their ass.
Right. So when you say we over there fighting, we
have
over
a
there
like
little
two
accent
peas in a
in here,
pod.
bro. Hold on.
I got a question for the room. I got a question for the room. Okay, we in the United States, we use 3.5 million barrels of oil every day. We need 3.5 million barrels of oil every day. Now you tell me how we're going to get that.
Yeah, by
You
steady.
tell me how we're going to get that.
Stop being a pussy. You better be. You ain't gonna have nothing to eat.
No, Gino, if we,
United
by
States
putting
ain't
your
gonna have
ass on a chain gang and making you
Brother,
go out
that
to
you
fucking
ain't gonna.
yeah,
You
make
gonna
you
be
go
on
out
it
to
too.
war for it.
You gonna be on the chain gang.
You gonna
It's
put
a
and
whole
the
lot of
ironic
you gonna be on the
thing
chain gang too.
the
You gonna be on
ironic
that motherfucker too.
the
You gonna
ironic
be evil.
thing
Evil
is that
don't have a respect of a person, brother. Man that's evil don't give a fuck about nobody but they self. Understand that. Don't nobody keep the rule, so do unto others as you want done unto you.
Yeah, Gino,
Love thy
you're
neighbor
not
as
answering
thyself.
the question.
Yeah.
You're
People
not
how you want to
answering.
be treated.
See,
If
the
you a thief,
ironic
you gonna get
thing
stolen
is,
on. If you a murderer, you
Jesus.
gonna get murdered. Your kids gonna get murdered. Understand that, brothers. Yeah, it's something called equal balance.
Yeah, but see, we're for the
I
white
know there is a
people,
such term as equal balance.
but for the white people,
It ain't a such
we
time because we don't
worry
be
about
equal.
getting
We
murdered.
only care about ourselves. We forget about all the other people around the world. Now, all these other people around the world, they don't get 5 cents. Some of them is living in
Well,
bad
it sounds like you only
conditions.
care about yourself because you wanted to come in here and ear rape
Don't do
everybody.
it. You damn right I care about myself. Look at the Bible and say, all men are liars. I'm a liar. A liar means...
So then you're a liar too, amazing.
Yes, I agree.
I'm a horrible.
Yeah. A liar is a... You want to see where it is, brother.
Have you read the Bible, the part where it talks about the stain of Cain and
Brother, you don't
the
even
curse?
read the Bible. You got a heart. You got a heart, brother. You got a heart, right? You know right and wrong. You're a wrong man, right? Treat people how you want to be treated. Do you want somebody to rape your wife? Do you want somebody to rape and kill your wife?
So, Gino, if America wasn't a bully, would other countries do the same thing that America did to ensure they could meet their oil demands? Or would they say, oh, no,
Big the seat. Big. You big. What you part of...
He's cutting up.
Yeah, you part of the problem.
How much part of the problem?
Because we got to feed you.
They are the
gotta
problem.
feed you.
That's,
America got to feed all y'all. America got to put electric in all y'all houses. America got to send all
And
y'all
where's
kids
going
to
to get the
school.
power?
America got to do everything
Where are
for
you going to
you.
get the power
And
to
me.
generate
So
that
how we get it?
electricity? Where are you going to, how are you going to create that electricity? Alright,
Make it like a gangster.
it's all noise.
Shit, y'all know how
Get the
you
niggas under control.
Gino, you gotta
listen for a minute.
Chill out. Okay.
Yeah. All lectures are
Gino,
there.
chill. I'm talking. Shut up. We got some new people on the stage. Author, how you doing this evening? And Florida's back. Welcome, Florida.
Thank you.
Yeah, Arthur, did you want to take a shot at the title? Like, what is your take on the DSA and Dems, and who do you think they're running and all that good stuff? And by the way, do you actually think it's a problem at all, or is it something that you're okay with?
I mean, I think overall we gotta kind of see where this is gonna go. I just think it's too early to call and see like what's gonna happen specifically with the DSA. It's like it'd be like trying to predict that MAGA was going to because of the Tea Party. Like no one could have predicted MAGA because of the Tea Party. So I think it's too early to call what the DSA is potentially going to be to the Democrats in that regards.
Right. Do you believe that was it El Sayed? Do you think he's a DSA member? Because I know there's like a debate whether or not he's actually like a DSA member. I guess he's been endorsed by them, but do you know one way or the other? I don't even know.
I mean, I don't know specifically, but I will tell you this: he's American, right? Like the dude was on stage, like being a politician. So I mean, I don't think there's any doubt to his veracity of that. He's just an American. There's no like ulterior motives that people are prescribing to him. Like he seems like he's Midwest like through and through.
And what do you make of MAGA and maybe Rubio or Vance or some other MAGA candidate? Do you think they're the ones that are going to be considered, or do you got somebody else? Or do you think like we're going to go back to, I don't know, the Bushes, Mike Pence folks, or where do you think the Republican Party's going?
I mean, I hope there could be some leveling off a little bit. I mean, I don't think Vance has a cachet to be anything other than what he is. Rubio's gotten a lot better, but he's so tied to the current administration. So we'll see if he can potentially shake that off. But I think, I'm not saying it has to go back to the Bush, but I think just in general, things just need to level off and not be so polarized, if you will.
Damn, you motherfuckers can't stay away from the war mongrels and the idiots. Bush fucked the country up. Trump fucking the country up. You motherfucking white Republicans, conservatives, whatever you want to
He
call
wants to go back to his whole business as usual, bro. That's fucked up.
You can't choose somebody that won't put the country to a recession. Fuck it. I'll take gay marriages in the country get it motherfucking drowned to the motherfucking ground. All you motherfucking conservative, right-wing, whatever you want to call it. I just call y'all white people or crackers. But that's for another topic. But anyway, you motherfuckers, y'all keep fucking the country up, but y'all want to talk about gay marriages and bullshit. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking idiots.
We're doing our best, honey.
Motherfuckers ain't accomplished shit as Republicans. Always want to say the Democrats ain't done shit, but all I know in my lifetime, I lived through a few Republicans. God damn it. I lived. I was alive when Reagan was here. I was here when Bush. I was young, but I was
You want more white people to pay for your fucking shit.
No, I don't. I just want white people to get it right. When have y'all got it right? When have y'all got it right?
We're having a dream.
Tell me that. When have y'all got it right?
Never.
I'm trying to figure it out. Y'all started some shit right now that we in. How the fuck we running out of all of our business? Huh?
Listen, you're talking.
I don't think
it's stupid, don't get me wrong, but I mean, I have to say we never. Did Biden do such a great fucking job?
He did better than y'all. He's doing better than what we doing now.
No, not really. He allowed a literal fucking invasion. He allowed a literal fucking invasion of our fucking country by a score of fucking
He didn't do none of that. Shut your dumb ass up. He didn't do none of that. He didn't do none of that shit.
I definitely do not. I agree with Biden.
Worried about letting
Not do anything.
Biden was
I'm
in office.
confident
We
Biden
was worried
made
about
it.
we was
I don't
worried
know
about
what it is for those years, but
I wasn't finished. When Biden was in office, we was worried about transgender.
60% of all transgenders are white. Man.
We was worried about these girls, these boys,
And
girls.
30% are Nigerian. 30% are Nigerian.
We wasn't going through war. We was just worried about these man boys. I mean, these man girls. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, we were worried about immigration.
Yeah. We wasn't tripping. Now with Biden,
Highly selective.
we not scared of
we
little.
don't like
we not scared of little Mexicans.
Yeah,
Democrats
we
not scared of
don't
Mexicans.
like you using the term cracker. We prefer we prefer to be called our proper name.
What is that?
The masquerade.
Yeah,
masquerade.
Oh, hell no.
Alan, can I ask you a question, brother? What are your thoughts on black people?
What are my thoughts of black people?
He hates them. You don't hear how he talks?
I want to hear what
We're
you're
talking about black people. Alex.
He just sound like a racist. He just sound like.
I just want to hear what
When
you
I think of black people, I have to warn what kind of question is that?
Sound like a racist.
To be honest, man.
What are your thoughts of white people?
Oh, I can tell.
Man, I got a lot of thoughts, man. What you want to know?
Yeah,
First thought that comes to mind is Epstein Island when I think about white people.
We got lots of
That's weird. That's really weird.
That's a weird one. I think of Chris or sometimes.
I think of Bill like Charlie. Bill like Charlie. That's another one. I think of the second one. I think of Mono Rose. Dark.
Okay, 291. What are you doing now, man? What's going on now?
No, I was invited here by Peter. He told me this was a room for independent.
Peter invited?
When it comes to white people, I think about the Catholic Church.
Thank you.
I think about the Catholic Church and all the little boys.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Peter.
Shout out to all the little boys in the Catholic Church. Shout out.
Well, no, I'm Catholic.
I hope they didn't touch you, bro.
What do you hear that?
You know what's funny though? You say that lightly about all the brothers. I mean, all the people in the Catholic Church, the little boys. But you're basically making fun of like all of Latin America. So you have a problem with the Spicks too.
Oh,
That was a headshot for the Spicks.
You got a problem with the Hispanic
I don't give a fuck about them. I'm the nigga.
and the Filipinos.
I don't give a fuck about them.
Mahakika.
Man,
Fuck about them.
That means I love you.
Why is it usually a Caucasian Catholic priest touching the kittens?
and one thing I will say, you will never see no black school shooter. I'll tell you that right now. No black mass shooter. Child molester, all that.
They do in Chicago all the time. What are you talking about?
They're too busy down in
All the time in Chicago, bro. Like over 3 people. If you kill over 3 people, that's just mass shooting.
I'm not
We kill each other.
I'm not entirely sure.
We kill each other. We don't kill y'all.
I'm not entirely sure that a black person could actually do a school shooting. I don't even know that they know how to do that. I mean, they may know.
Yo, is that a flexing? Are you flexing being able to?
Yeah, isn't that a good thing? I mean, you guys probably don't know how to do one.
Are we flexing?
Come on,
Innocent people, what are we doing right now?
That's a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
Oh, yo, am I the only one hearing this?
What see the difference is
It's actually a very good point because that takes planning, forethought, timing.
Holding the gun the right way. Not sideways.
Spiraling out, mental illness.
They get to use a car sometimes. Yeah, but white people should have.
Would definitely prefer my kid to, I mean, God forbid, but to wind up in a by my own choices, wind up, because I'm not paying attention or whatever, end up in some gang, right? And gang violence versus shooting up a school. Like, I mean, I think gang violence is a lot easier to solve than the mental illness that's going to come with someone so spiraled out they're going to shoot a bunch of people and then die. Like, that's like suicide. That's too far. That's too much.
But the problem with that, Matt, though, is like mass shootings will account for well under 1% of all murders. But the the kind of killings that you get from delinquents, I mean, that's going to account for nearly the majority. So, I mean, they're a whole different animal.
Nah. It's just the system y'all created. I ain't gonna let that ride. I know y'all gonna mute me real quick when I start.
Go ahead, Heidi. Wake it up, Heidi.
See, the reason why there's so many mass shooters in black neighborhoods, that's the thing about this, is the way you homes set up together. See, I always ask, why don't white poor folks live in the ghettos with black folks and Hispanics? Because the ghettos ain't just made for blacks and Hispanics. Listen to me, shut up real quick. The ghettos is made for broke people. Broke people. It's not just made for black and Hispanic. It's made for broke people. So I always wonder, where are the white projects?
They live on the outskirts.
No, hear me out. Once again, like
they generally live in the poorer areas of the suburbs and out in the
No. I get to live. What are the poor areas of the suburbs?
So like, okay, here in Phoenix, okay, I can tell you. Hold on. I can tell you, like here in Phoenix.
Let me finish.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Once again,
you're tacking more shit on every time somebody else wants to talk.
I'm trying to finish. We let you do your bullshit. You don't want to interrupt your punk ass. So let me
bullshit. You interrupted me the whole time.
What kind of syrup you like on your pancakes?
Agave.
But if you look at Phoenix, for example, we can look at on South Phoenix, most of the west side, parts of the east side, in the inner city. That is where you have your, I guess you could say, black and Hispanic hoods. Then for the white people, it's quite a bit different. You would have to go out to parts of Mesa, a suburb, and then you would have to, if you go all the way to the furthest end, the furthest suburb, hold on, the furthest suburb, hold on, the furthest suburb, that's the furthest out, hold on, that's the furthest away from the city, out east, Apache Junction actually has a very large, poor white demographic. What they live in the projects in Apache Junction. They live in trailers in Apache Junction. For fuck's sake, they live separately because they don't want to live around you fucking people. Because even they're a lot more fucking peaceful than the blacks.
Trailers are spread apart. I said, where are the projects? Why are
they have housing projects out there too.
No, y'all don't.
Yes, they do.
No, y'all don't.
What are you talking about? The housing authority, you have housing authorities that are run by the state.
Look, there's a difference between living on top of each other versus a trailer park that's spread out. You can actually step outside and get some sun.
Sure, but they do have. So what they do have is they have housing projects. So both you have generally the smaller suburbs won't have their own housing authority, but the state and the county does. You absolutely have projects in Mesa.
Name me a white project.
There's Mesa.
Name me one.
I don't know the fucking name off the top of my head.
Exactly.